Good evening and welcome to Neighborhood Board 14. Just a couple administrative announcements. So if you have a cell phone, please turn your cell phone off. And if you want to be recognized to speak, please raise your hand so I can recognize you either in the audience or on WebEx. If I can see you. I think our neighborhood assistant can tell me whose hand is raised. And I want to thank all those who are physically present this evening. You're missing a great show. Okay, let's get started. First of all, can you make sure we have a quorum, Spencer?
Yes, we have 6 right now. I could do a roll call if you want.
Will you please?
Sure. Okay, Ron Higa. Ron. Ron's present. Carol Kaapu. Present. Zoidel Magoye.
He's excused.
Brandon Mitsuda. It's Nao Ota. Henry Pang. Cora Yamamoto. Present. Dale White.
He's off island.
Donald Nita. Present. And Chair Fa.
Present.
So
We're
we have
shy of
6.
one person
Yeah,
for
we
a
have 6.
quorum. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna continue with the meeting, but we can't transact any business till we get a quorum. All right, first order, Honolulu Fire Department, are you here? Are you on the screen? Okay, we'll move right along. How about the Honolulu Police Department?
Yes, I'm on the screen. Let me start the video. Hi, can you see me and hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Lieutenant Keone Hong, representing Kalihi. Going over the stats for September 2023. We had for burglaries, there was 2 compared to 9 back in August. Motor vehicle thefts, there were 13 in September compared to 7. Thefts, there were 13 compared to 17. And car break-ins, in September, there were 8, and August, there were also 8. The calls for service were 1,371 calls for service in this area. I don't have anything to follow up on, I believe. I didn't attend last month, I think, but if there were a follow-up, let me know. I can try to get the answer for you. If there's new questions, I'm available at this time.
You said, how many calls did you get for the month?
For this area, 1,371. Yeah, that's about normal. August was 1,398.
Can you tell us what kind of calls they are? I mean, I'm curious. I didn't think we'd have that much action in our neighborhood.
Yeah, they vary. Parking complaints all the way up to robberies. Yeah, so but then based on the stats, about 42 of the 1,371 were felonies. So that's a small percentage, but still. So most of the calls were just misdemeanor service type calls.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, not that we want felonies at all, but that's
Yes.
a very small number. And the felonies, what kind of felonies are there? Burglaries or?
Yeah, so the ones that I read off are mostly felonies, except the thefts. Those could range from misdemeanors. And then there's also like robberies and forgeries, things like those. Yeah.
Okay. One last question. Are we having any problems with the homeless within our area?
Island wide, there are pockets of where, there may be homeless that congregate, especially if you have parks sometimes at night. So we do park checks and try to make sure people are following the park rules. And then also giving out resources, of course, that we do have for them to get shelter.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing a great job. Donald, you had a question?
Yes. I would like to see more surveillance on Kapalama Avenue, in the time frame like from 3 o'clock to 6:30. There's a lot of speeding going on, and I don't see any surveillance or this kind of with the police department. Can you guys give us more surveillance in that area to cut down the speeding?
Yes, and that's you're talking about AM, 3 AM,
We're talking about PM,
PM.
yeah,
Okay,
in the afternoon. In the
see.
morning, there is speeding, but in the afternoon, it's more, there's more speeding in the afternoon.
Okay. Any cross street in particular that you notice? Kapalama Ave and any cross?
Yeah, Kapalama Avenue from School Street all the way up to, I don't want to say Skyline, but yes, Skyline.
Okay. I'll pass on the word to the,
Thank you.
that's the date. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Any other questions from the board? How about from the audience? Any questions from the audience? How about from the audience on WebEx? Any questions? Okay, if not, thank you very much, Lieutenant. Moving right
Thank you.
along. Board of Water Supply, Iris.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm just there in spirit. So I'm reporting on two main breaks on September 9th near 2401 Brook Street. Oh, excuse me, Brook Avenue. And another was on excuse me, September 18th near 805 Aleva Drive. And then I just have one general announcement on Saturday, October 21st from 10 to 2. So the Board of Water Supply and our partners in this, we're inviting you all to imagine a day without water event. So like I mentioned, October 21st, Saturday from 10 to 2 at the Freshwater State Recreation Area in Waihiwa. And I looked that up, it's near 380 Walker Avenue. So that day, there's going to be more than 15 city, state, and community organization booths with interactive activities. You'll learn the importance of One Water and its impact of climate change today and in the future. So yeah, join us. There's going to be rain barrel and native seed workshops, xeriscape plant craft activity, fresh water fishing activities. You can make Genki balls. That's a bioremediation that removes pollutants and soil from and water from removes pollutants from soil and water. So there's going to be some Ono food and play games and win some small prizes. So for more information, go to boardofwatersupply.com/onewaterhawaii. Okay, so that was just the announcement to invite you guys to that event. And if there's any questions.
Hey, Iris, thank you. Any questions from the board? How about from the audience? How about WebEx? Anybody from WebEx? Well, if not, Iris, thank you very much. We'll see you next month, I
Yeah.
guess.
Thank you. Sorry I'm not there in person. Thanks.
Oh, one thing, Brandon wants to know when you're going to open up so they can go get catfish so you can have a fish fry.
One day, hopefully, one day.
One day.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Is it before or after my tenure ends?
Um,
I'm still
yeah.
waiting for the fish fry from Brandon.
Hopefully we'll get some agency that will be able to do the fishes.
Okay.
Get them back. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you, Iris. All right. Next on the agenda, filling of vacancies. My understanding is that we have one individual who's interested in filling Subdistrict 1 for our neighborhood board 14. His name is Darren Cantrell. So, Mr. Cantrell, first of all, I will entertain a motion that you don't have to motion this. Do I have someone who wants to nominate him first? Nominated by Brandon? Okay. We don't need a second or anything. Mr. Cantrell, I know we've met before, but thank you for, how are you saying, being brave enough to join. No, just joking. But for joining us. First question. Why do you want to be on Neighborhood Board 14?
So it's been a couple of years that I've been watching this forum and I've attended this as a Scoutmaster and also as a Cub Master. That's where you probably recognize me from. If I wore the brown uniform, you'd probably recognize me. So having been here with all of my Scouts, I thought it would be good to kind of give back to my community. So that's why I'm here.
Are you an Eagle Scout too?
No, sir, I'm not, but I've made about 30 Eagle Scouts total in my tenure as a Scoutmaster.
And I want to thank you. I'm an Eagle Scout, and that's a really hard chore, especially for any
It's a
scout
lot of
group.
dedication. We also have now girls in scouting.
Well,
we're
we won't
working
talk
on those
about
as
that.
well.
No. Yes, Cara.
Mr. Cantrell, which sub-district are you in?
Subdistrict 1, so
One.
right up the street here on Jack Lane.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Okay, what I'm going to do is entertain a motion that we elect Mr. Darren Cantrell to Subdistrict 1 out of 4, Neighborhood Board 14. Is there a second? Oh, seconded by Henry. Uh, First of all, any discussion?
You know, as an Eagle Scout myself, I just appreciate all the things that scouting does, and we look forward to having you on the board.
Thank you.
Okay, if no discussion, I guess what we have to do according to our neighborhood board is we have to have a roll call vote. And you're gonna have to mention his name. You can say Darren Cantrell, Mr. Cantrell, or Darren, if you are in favor of electing him as one of our members. So, Spencer?
Okay, Carol Kaapu,
I vote for Darren Cantrell.
Zoidel is not online. Brandon Mitsuda,
I vote for Darren Control.
Chance is not online. Henry Peng,
Darren Control.
Cora Yamamoto,
For Darren Control.
Dale White is not with us. Donald Nita,
I vote for Mr. Contrell.
Ronald Higa. Yeah. Hi. And that's last not least, Chair Wesley Fawn.
Darren Cantrell. I don't see any opposition, so congratulations, motion. Congratulations, Mr. Cantrell, Darren. What we're gonna do is we're gonna, you want to take them aside and you can read it right now? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it says here, I solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, Constitution and laws of the state of Hawaii, the charter and laws of the city and county of Honolulu, and the provisions of the neighborhood plan, and will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties to the best of my ability as a member of the neighborhood board to which I have been elected or appointed or volunteered.
Very good, all right. Before I forget, I don't know if everyone knows what you do for a living, besides being with the Boy Scouts.
So I took some notes real quick, so let me read them off. Again, my name is Darren Cantrell. I live right up here on Jack Lane, where my family and I help take care of my in-laws. They have been here since the 70s. I've been in this area for about 14 years. My wife and son both went to school here, and I also served on the PTSA here for 3 years. I was a Cub Master here for PAC 201, and I was a Scoutmaster here for a while, and then we moved over to Nu'uanu Congregational Church, where I have both boys and girls. I'm a volunteer with City and County Honolulu Emergency Management, which is the old civil defense, where I'm a coordinator for District 1, District 5. I'm a 10-year Air Force veteran. I'm also an IT manager at the state DOT. I don't do roads, I just do IT. And again, the things I'm concerned about are helping to reduce crime, the paving on Pauley, never ending, grass cutting, and anything else that the board wants to work on. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your service. Yes. Now, why don't you have a seat on that table over there between those two gentlemen? Okay, moving right along. Resident concerns. Any resident concerns from the audience or on the board? Yes. Go ahead, Carol.
I turned this into Spencer, but there's an open grate on the corner of Hufftailing and Ponea Drive that is a large drainage ditch that is wide open for someone to fall in or drive into.
Ed, you get that? Okay. Anybody else on the board or from the audience for resident concerns?
A resident contacted me regarding Pu'unui Avenue. He's saying that there's an excessive amount of speeding going down Pu'unui Avenue. His car was clipped the other day by a hit and run on Pu'unui, and he'd like to see speed bumps on that street. So I'll be putting in that request.
Ed, he'll put it on writing and I'll give it to you. Got it. Everybody's speeding around here. Oh, wait till we get to Mamalu. Any other resident concerns from the board or the audience? How about the WebEx? Anybody? Resident concerns? Everybody's happy so far. All right. Moving right along, any reports of members attending other meetings that may be concerned to us? Okay, if not, Umpo. Yes, welcome back.
This month, the October meeting was canceled, so I don't have any report for this month, but hopefully we'll have something exciting next month
And you just came back from where?
from Cincinnati, Ohio.
What are you doing there?
Grandkids,
Oh,
including a newborn.
congratulations. Yeah, all right. Okay, moving right along. Mayor's representative, Ed, you're up. And I'm gonna ask Ed, if unless there are any objections, if we can go through the unfinished business and new business that affects the city and of which he's representing. Go ahead.
Hello and good evening, Chair Fong, members of Neighborhood Board 14, Liliha. A few updates from the mayor. You can find his newsletter, monthly newsletter. It's available at oneoahu.org, but there's a few updates that he wanted me to make sure I pass through. First one is the mayor's commitment to safeguarding our communities, and this is in relation to the ACLU lawsuit. You can take a look on the newspaper. It's been kind of widely published on what the city's stance is and what we stand for at the city is trying to uphold and be able to enforce the laws that keep our parks safe, to keep our sidewalks safe, and allow us to get from point A to point B, as well as recreate in public spaces. We are compassionate towards the homeless situation. It's a very complex situation. But through our series of town halls, we do take our jobs seriously as far as making sure spaces are available and safe for our keiki and then for all folks in our neighborhoods. Beyond that, affordable housing updates, there were 3 that kind of moved last month. Parkway Village in Kapolei. So this is a $199 million project that will eventually create 405 affordable rental units and 2 preschools on site over there in Kapolei. And this project is with Kobayashi Group and the Ahe. Kihapai Place in Kailua. The city recently acquired for $5 million 2 vacant parcels at Kihapai Place in Kailua. Along with the acquisition price, we got plans, the former developers' plans to create a 42 1 and 2 bedroom units, and we'll make those available at 80% and below area median income over in Kailua. Last affordable housing update is Hale Vaiolu over in Chinatown. This was a long one that took quite a bit of time to realize, but it's now open for leasing and immediate move-in. There's 1 and 2 bedroom units available for seniors age 62 and above. Couple more updates. Parking meters upgraded. This is kind of a big one. This provides 4G connectivity, but allows folks to use an app to pay for parking, as well as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and other smart phone-based technologies. And what you get with that is, you also get the alert on your phones that say, hey, you're about up, and give you the opportunity to renew your time, so you don't have to run around and chase a meter. Finally, in the mayor's update, this is fire prevention. Fire Prevention Week is this week right now, October 8th to October 13th. So there's a lot of tips to be fire-wise in the mayor's monthly newsletter, and want to make sure folks take it seriously in light of what recently happened in Maui, and keep your family and your property safe. Moving on to the new business and old business from last week's meeting. There are 2 crosswalks that came into question on School and Kokia Street and School and Pohaku Street. So both of these intersections, or both of these unsignalized crosswalks, are on schedule to be for an upgrade. What they're doing is they're looking to test out a new rapid flashing beacon, a rectangular rapid flashing beacon in these 2 locations, as well as other locations around the island of Oahu that are kind of heavily used unsignalized crosswalk. So no timeline for that. That's in the procurement process. They're doing the specs right now. Once we do get a timeline, I'm more than happy to provide an update. I know it's a big concern for this community, but
The good news is, I think I reported last week, Oaxaca Street was on there. Okia Street was kind of off, was going to be eradicated, but sounds like they're both alive and up for and due for an upgrade. Moving on, there was a request on the street sidewalk project on Judge Street. So currently, DTS, Department of Transportation Services, has no update, has no current project for this. This is a tier 2 priority for the department, and they recognize that it's also a tier 2 project on the Oahu pedestrian plan, so they acknowledge that. But this is a very challenging corridor. There's a lot of historic properties along Judge Street. Drainage structures, limited right of way. Limited right of way means that the city-owned portion is kind of small. So if they want to do sidewalk, they're going to have to condemn or somehow expand that. So that's kind of a challenging situation. So there's going to be a lot that has to be kind of thought through on there. Usually we use federal funds for this kind of stuff, but it's not going to be a federally performing roadway. We have to use city funds for that, which kind of shrinks our pool of money for that. But it is on their radar. We acknowledge that it is on the Oahu pedestrian plan. As things progress, more than happy to provide, but it is a challenging corridor that DTS has shared and acknowledges, and we'll have to work through it somehow. Next up, I have Nakuea Park. Can the playground be installed in Nakuea Park? So currently in this year's budget, there's no money for that, and there's actually a big backlog of deferred projects that things they want to get through. That said, DPR will consider this for the future request for CIP budgeting cycles, provided there's continuing interest in the community for a playground over there at Nakuea Park.
Before we start spending money up there, which I'm very familiar with being up there for like 50 years, and I remember when they did a survey. I think I mentioned before, what would you like in this park? And I said, oh, how about a swimming pool, basketball court, etc. And the residents up there, which are rather elderly, I put that in quotes, said, no, we want a passive park. So before, I think the city, and this comes from one of the residents up there, okay, and the younger in the residents with the kids, maybe you should canvass the residents up there before you spend the money. That would be my suggestion. But again, I haven't heard very much about it. Any comments from the board? Yes, go ahead, Cora.
One thing that's lacking, depending on how this develops, that I noticed is lacking on the top portion of the park, there really is no shade. So if you want to have to have a lunch or picnic or something, it's pretty hot. There's a little gazebo type area, arbor down, but you have to go down, you can't see it from the top.
Good idea. Good idea. All I see is dogs and kids running around. But what Cora's mentioning is actually that's the old part of the old Alzheimer's, which is closed up, by the way, the gazebo. But that's a good point. Just get a little shade there. Maybe we can use it. But it's really a passive park. But if the residents think we should have, swimming pool, and I think what we're worried about is because at night it's what closes at 8 o'clock, and we don't want anybody coming up there. We used to have problems with drugs up there, but it's ceased a long time ago. Any other comments from the board? Yes, go ahead, Harry.
I mean, as the elderly is passed anyway, the next generation is coming. So we would like to have maybe a park for the younger generation that's coming about.
Okay.
I
How-
mean, it'll
Are
go
you
on the
considering
wayside.
yourself the older generation?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
because as you notice, I mean, the houses there have been rebuilt to nice new big homes in itself.
A good point. Good point. We older individuals are kind of fading out, and I do see a lot of younger ones, especially yeah, go ahead.
We don't want a football ending up in Pu'unui, is that right?
Yeah.
A football going over the fence and ending up in Pu'unui, we don't want that, right?
No. Anyway, these are suggestions, that's all, before you spend the money. And I think if you're getting, and Henry's right, we're getting the younger generation. I mean, in my street, the average ages must be about 80 or 90. One's 103. Oh my gosh. That means you live longer up there. The air is cleaner. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Go on. Next.
On that note about clean air, the next update I had was on the sewer leak. So there was a sewer leak that Department of Environmental Services, Division of Collection System Maintenance. So the folks that take care of our sewer lines did go check out the property at 1204 Mamalu Street. ENV did confirm that there's a broken sewer, private sewer lateral, so it's not within the city's jurisdiction to go in there and fix. Located at 1211 Drive, that was allowing seepage through the rock wall to neighboring property, 1204 Mamalu Street, and then proceeds further and ponds on the 1208 Mamalu Street property. On August 15th, supervisor did meet with the homeowner at 1211 Aleva Drive and let them know that the break has to be repaired and serviced. I also know that I think DPP, our folks, our friends at DPP have also taken a look at this one in particular as well. Now, I'll let Jiro update you on that. The last one I have is the dangerous intersection at Mamalu Drive and Aleva Drive. The request was whether or not the curb could be painted red, indicating to kind of visibly show no parking. There are signs out there, but just to delineate where the no parking zone exists. DTS current policy, the response from DTS that the current policy is to paint curbs red only at official bus stops and passenger loading zones, which is not the case for the Mamalu Street near the intersection of Aleva Drive. So that's the current policy. They will send out crews to take a look at the conditions of no parking signs. But I do understand there was an update. There was an accident earlier on this month that.
Yeah, let me, before I make my comment, Robert, do you have anything to add to your sewer problem? Well, good. So you don't smell it anymore. Oh, very good. Hey. Yeah, I didn't much. Just thank these guys. They got rid of the smell. That's it. Yeah, we got a resolve. Thank you. Okay, back to Mamalo. Yes, within the last month, since I reported that they were speeding, a car came down going Mackay or Mamalo. It was a big dip, if you have, and flipped over. I got pictures of it from my one of my residents. I asked her to send it to me. I mean, it flipped over, which means that maybe we got to somehow tell them slow down coming down. I mean, you can go at a rapid pace, but not to flip over. And I'm really concerned about that parking when if you're not familiar with, you go over a rise and you come down Mamala going into Mauka. And if there's a car parked on the right, you can't see it. And if it's a car coming up, we have a head-on collision. And may I say that the city's on notice, and being the former head of the Trials Division of Corp Council, that's going to be a hard case to defend if we're on notice. I'll just say that for my piece, but I don't know what they can do. But I'm saying, I look at that and I say, I think it's going to be an accident waiting to happen. I really, but anyway, if they can do something. Any comments from the board? Residents? Okay. See, what else have we got here? Donald?
On the city, on the easement, unimproved and improved easement, who is responsible to take care the so-called ground on the easement? Because I have residents complaining that their easement is dug up, okay, through rain, whatever. They call the planning department. And right now, there's no action because the city benefits from the resident that takes care of the frontage of the vegetation. If they don't do it, the city sends them a citation. And the question I say is, hey, if the resident's saving the city, and I'll put the dollar sign, couple $1 million or more for a city who doesn't have to do it, what is the city's responsibility to upkeep this area? And don't tell me to report it. I want the city to actively go around because you got supervisors And that's their job, to go and monitor all these things. But the residents have to clean, they have to spend money of their own, and it benefits the city. But what is the responsibility of the city?
Is there a specific area that you're talking about when you talked about, butt-ins and
Well,
easements?
there's one right below my place, Kapalama Avenue. The ground is dug up, okay, there are only rocks. It's been there for I don't know how long. The residents are frustrated, they don't clean it too. But luckily, no one reported it because I have one, my mother-in-law's place on Camford Road. The vegetation was all, we got a citation and we had to clean it. But I explained to the person who gave us that citation, the cars are parked 24/7. How can I cut the grass if the cars parked there? You know what was their answer? Oh, call the police. Call the police and say, cars on unimproved sidewalk not supposed to be parked. So I went to the police department. I talked to the so-called supervisor, which is a sergeant, and they grumbled to me. They told me, oh, we have to give 20 citations for no parking. And I'm telling them, hey, I didn't say that. The city says that. So the question is, what's your complaint? I have a complaint. If I don't clean it within 60 days, they will come in and clean it and they'll charge me the bill that I am now responsible to pay the city. So the question I ask is that, because the thing is dug up because of rain, cars parking there, digging up the dirt. Who is responsible? Because the thing is that I cannot see this thing going on and the residents getting frustrated because, hey, the city is responsible. Because if you put gravel on that easement and the city will tell you to take it out because you're not supposed to put anything on public property, correct?
Not familiar with the area. that
Okay.
you're-
Well, you-
Donald, let me interrupt. Are you talking about that portion between the sidewalk and the curb?
Yes,
That's the responsibility. I know this. I've done it before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
It's the responsibility of the homeowner. Yeah.
and the question my question is, who is responsible to maintain that
You are,
area?
the homeowner is.
No. You put dirt in that easement, they're gonna violate. They're gonna send you a violation.
That's what you gotta check up on, okay? Who's responsible for the portion between the sidewalk and the curb? My understanding, it's the homeowner. But the question is, if the homeowner doesn't maintain it, the city will come in and clean it, but then charge the homeowner. But can you come to get back on this? I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah, well, the part is that it's not the cleaning, it's the so-called maintaining on the dirt on the easement.
Okay, I'll put it on the agenda. Good point. Good question. I think that's prevalent to the whole neighborhood. Okay. Any other question? You got anything else? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep is it okay if we keep the Mamalu issue on the agenda, or are we finished with that? Are you gonna come back and if the city, you're telling me the city can't do anything? Will not do anything.
I think in neighborhoods where I live in, if HPD comes and does a ticketing exercise in the area, people tend to learn pretty quickly.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it on the agenda. I don't want another one of my fellow residents to show me a picture of a car overturning coming down Mamalo Street. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board? Or how about the audience? How about the WebEx? Okay, unless you can stick around, but I just want to get you out of here. You can. Thank you very much. Good job. All right, moving right along. Council, I think we're on Council Member Tam. Yes.
Okay, we'd like to first take this opportunity to introduce the Fergus family. They're here as owners of the lot that Foodland used to be in and McDonald's is in now. And they just wanted to provide an update as to the future of that lot. Because I know that some of the residents were wondering now that Foodland is closing, what would be happening. So council member invited them as good friends of council member and just to let the community know. And we wanted to put you on the agenda now so you didn't have to wait the entire meeting. So thank you so much for coming.
Problem. Thank you. I appreciate the introduction, Brandon. Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Jake Fergus, and like Brandon said, my family, we're the owners of the land under the Foodland building on the corner of School and Liliha. I'm sure you're all aware, Foodland recently closed on the market a couple weeks ago, and our friend, Council Member Dos Santos Tam, asked that I come by talk about the property. Just to give a brief background, the legend Marie Sullivan first opened this grocery store 74, 75 years ago in 1948. Sully is also responsible for introducing McDonald's to Hawaii, to the islands. And in 1972, about 50 years ago, he redeveloped that block, the little property, to include the current Foodland and McDonald's structures. As you probably guess, over the years, both McDonald's and Foodland's businesses have evolved. And Foodland made the decision to close its store. As you might have read in the paper and in articles, the CEO of Foodland said that parking challenges and the store's relatively small size for a grocery store made it difficult to serve customers in the area. So as of right now, we don't have any great updates for the neighborhood board, but we currently have the property available for lease or sale, and we want to find a good replacement for the property. See, as an aside, so we don't own the land under the McDonald's store, but we've been told that McDonald's has plans to demolish the store and redevelop into a new, modern, efficient McDonald's. I think this will be a good thing because it's going to help to alleviate some of the traffic and parking issues at the property, which has always been an issue and kind of the complaint that we've heard. Thank you. And if there's any questions, I could try to answer it.
No, thank you very much for coming in. Thank Council Member Tam for inviting you. Let me ask you a couple of questions. So it's a question of parking. It's not a question of homelessness and crime and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, over the past year, we've really made an effort to try to clean up the homelessness, trash, and everything that was going on at the property. I don't know if that played a factor into it, but the main reason that Foodland folks have told us they closed the store was parking challenges. And, you know, with McDonald's growing in popularity over the years, getting more busy, and trying to run a grocery store at the same time, it just didn't work out. They made the tough decision to close.
The reason I asked that question is because, you know, the Liliha CVS, Longs up in Liliha and Bukini, they closed. And I think that the reason why is because of I don't know, crime. But this is not the same reason, because I know we had a problem there with homelessness and crime.
Yeah, that's not what we were told.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope not. Oh, any other questions? Yes, Henry.
You mentioned McDonald's maybe renovating or remodeling and whatnot anyway. Well, you have any kind of time frame that is happening?
We don't. I've looked on the real property tax website at TPP, and I've seen that there is a permit in to rebuild. But as far as their timeline, I have no idea. I think the sooner the better. If they can re-asphalt the lot, bring in a brand new store, I think it would really help to improve the area.
You don't own it. Somebody else
No,
owns it?
no. So we don't own the McDonald's parcel.
You know who owns that?
I believe McDonald's owns the building, and it's a local family that owns it.
Any other questions? Board? Audience? WebEx? Sorry to see Foodland go, because I know the family.
I have a question,
Oh.
Chair.
Yes, who's this?
Senator
Oh,
Kim.
yes, hi, Senator Kim. Yes, you have a question.
Yeah, just had a question whether the family approached McDonald's since they're going to rebuild or renovating. Maybe they want to use the whole lot because, yeah, it is crowded and the drive-through is very limited that you can get through. So I don't know. That makes sense. Okay.
You know, my understanding is that McDonald's has when they rebuild their store, they're going to have more parking stalls assigned to their lot. That's going to make it very easy for customers to get in and out of the property. It'll make it good. The Foodland property may not see a high volume grocery store. That's going to have more limited parking attached to that. We're trying to find a good user who's going to not have a big parking impact, just for that reason. So we don't overcrowd the parking lot and affect McDonald's or the neighbors.
Yeah, it's just hard to imagine McDonald's having more parking. It's such a small area they have with, you know, so many people coming through the drive-through and going into the restaurant. So
Right.
getting too much more parking.
Thank you, Senator. And good luck to you. You know, hope you keep us informed. You can do it through me or through members Tam's office. But good luck.
Sounds
We're
good.
looking forward to seeing who's going to be there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for coming. Okay.
We just wanted to thank you for coming tonight, taking the time for your family to come and give us an update. The community had a lot of questions, and so it's very good that you came. Thank you so much.
And you're invited to stay. Did everybody get a copy of this? I already sent it to you, but yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much again. Aloha. Okay, so this is council members' report. We wanted to focus in on the first story. That's the lead. And this is the council members' introduction of the game room enforcement package. And what this does is that this allows Department of Planning and Permitting and Corporation Council to have greater ability to go after landlords of these properties that are being used for gambling. And we've already seen how this has really taken effect, Bill 57, especially right across from Kalihiuka Elementary School. And we had a press conference there, and we were able to get rid of that game room. So we look forward to using things like Bill 57, Bill 58, and other resolutions to have all of the city departments come together to attack this problem of game rooms, not just in Kalihi, but in everywhere, like in Liliha and in Nuuanu and all places across Oahu. Wanted to also let you know about the passage of the Kalihi Valley parking zones, RPZ, restricted parking zones. So this would allow restricted parking zones to be created through a process around Honolulu. So it has to go through a process. So not every district will have it, but for those that really need it, it might make a difference. Also wanted to let everybody know that the bill on Monster Homes false statements moves ahead. The Deputy Director, Jiro Sumada, has been very helpful with this particular piece of legislation, and we applaud his department. We thank them so much. Anybody that makes false statements is gonna pay the penalty when it comes to making false statements to our city departments. If you keep on going down, we had a listening session in Papakolea that was very successful. We had a lot of residents coming by for that. And let's see here. Oh yeah, we wanted to let everybody know that the council members participated in the Mayor's Remembrance Walk on 9/11. And we also participated in the Mid-Autumn Festival for Chinatown. And we also had the grand opening of Cha's Room in Farrington. And then the last thing I'll leave with is the new feral chicken program. It goes live. So that one's for you, Chair Fong. You can take a look at it. If you see feral chickens, you can call this number right here, and they will come and help you with those chickens.
Thank you very much, Brandon. I'm very happy to hear about the feral chicken eradication. It's not eradication, it's catching. I don't know what they do with them. But let me say, I want to congratulate Councilmember Tam in regards to Bill 57, 58, and Resolution 228. Hopefully, that's going to really help in regards to all of these illegal gaming parlors, which just, they come up, they get busted, and they come up again. So you hit the owners, hopefully. My question is, can't they confiscate if they're doing an illegal activity and they're just like they're selling drugs? Because I know I think the police have the power to confiscate.
Police have the power to do that. Unfortunately, what's happening is that, individuals that have those machines or whatever, they confiscate it, but then it just gets replaced. And so this way, if we hook the landlord into it.
No, I'm not talking about the gaming machines. I'm talking about the property.
Oh, the property, that's a possibility.
So I know that down in Chinatown, there was a bar that was selling illegal substance, and they busted them. Then they confiscated that the property and sold it to so that'll really make them stand up and take notice.
Yeah.
Ed, you can double check on that if I'm not mistaken, because I remember when I was corp counsel, if there's something illegal, it's like, for example, if you have something illegal in your car, they'll confiscate your car. That's why the police department has such nice cars. Oh, did I say that? No.
And then I just want to give two more updates. So for the sewer leak, we went up there, we did a site visit, and we just wanted to let everybody know that on 9/13, an excavator was brought up to do the work. And on 9/14, the work was completed. Then on 9/19, the city did a dye test. And then in late September, the neighbor had a hazardous waste company come out and take out the dirt. And then also to replant some of the trees that were affected in that area. So thank you to this board for their assistance. Thank you to the city rep, and thank you to the Department of Planning and Permitting for their help. All of that really came together to assist these residents, and so we really appreciate it. The second and last thing is that on Mamalu Street, we have requested a traffic safety study as well as traffic calming measures on that street, because the neighbors on our site visits to Mamalu told us how fast individuals have been driving. So
Thank you very much, Brandon. That'll make my residents very happy. All right, and thank you again for helping out in that sewer issue for Mr. Huang. All right, moving right along. Let's see who's up next up. Oh, we got a question. Yes,
Yeah.
Donald.
It's still open. Brandon, last meeting, I gave you some questions on the sidewalk on Judge Street. Do I have your answer?
the department answered
All
on
right,
that question.
all right.
Yeah, and the only thing is that in that area, it's extremely complicated because they're currently trying to see which land can be taken, as well as it's a tier 2 project. So it is on their radar screen. And we're trying to push to have it done. It just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, because we knew that, because the thing is that this is an ongoing thing on Judge Street. And when you had it on your agenda for August, I was very surprised that you folks had the funding and you folks are ready to go. So the question is, what's the answer to my questions?
Yeah, so the funding is there. It's just that it's a matter of more studying and whose land is going to be taken and which side the sidewalk would want to be on. That's kind of where the departments are stuck right now.
So you're telling me that the council got the money to do it, and yet you have all these other question marks that is not answered, and yet you guys got the funding? I mean, what kind of government is that? I mean, he made the proposal, all right? Then you guys had the estimate. Now you're telling the city now they have to come? I thought it was already stated that you guys had the funding.
Well, that's $2 million that's in there for that whole entire group of projects. And now the city has to investigate and has to see how best to use that funding to get that project happening.
So you're telling me you might not have a sidewalk on Judge Street?
Well, we are trying to get that sidewalk done.
Answer the question. Don't give me a no. So you're telling me we're not gonna have a sidewalk?
It's like how the deputy director stated that they're trying, the Department of Transportation Services as well as DDC, they're trying to do that. And so they'll keep us posted as to when they can expend the funds to do it.
And the other thing is that folks send us a budget highlights. And the question I have is that the city budget is right now $4.7 billion. Can you tell me, is that the so-called working budget for the city and county? Or is this part of where the council have their pet projects and everything is combined and now the total is 4.7?
The total budget is 4.7.
Yes.
The total.
So the thing is that, because when I read this and I'm telling myself, $4.7 billion to run the city of Honolulu, you don't think that's kind of high? Then I read in the back, oh, you got some breakdowns on your project. And the one I was real surprised is that most of the money that you guys made updates for District 6 is in Chinatown. You know, we can even get our crosswalk painted. And then you telling me all these budgets and all that in Chinatown, you folks gonna do? I mean, come on. I mean, Chinatown is Chinatown, but District 6 is need more improvement. And we getting from the city and county, oh, well, you know, it's projected, you know, in the future, but they cannot give us a date when you're gonna start. I mean, come on, something's wrong. So on this, what is the city's budget? The city's budget, not including the council members, piecemeal or whatever pet project they have. So the question is, $4.7 billion. What is the budget for the city and county of Honolulu?
We'll get you that answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? By the way, I'll put the sidewalks in Judge Street as on the agenda. Yes. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, moving right along. Senator, I believe Senator Rhodes. Senator
Hello.
Rhodes? Anybody from that office?
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Hello, my name is Sarah Thorne, and I am the newest legislative intern for Senator Rhodes. Unfortunately, he will not be able to be here, but I have his messages to relay. So, I received word from the Hawaii Department of Transportation that they did not receive federal grant money for the Cap Park project. I will follow up with HDOT to find out if they're still going to pursue this project and will report to the board with any updates. I also plan to contact USDOT to see what other possibilities might be there. Next, the red light safety program only issues citations for vehicles that are running red lights, as opposed to those that are turning illegally on red. Currently, there are 10 intersections that are live for these citations, and total up to 6,877 citations since it has been issued. Last week, the Department of Health reported 642 new COVID cases, with a 7-day average of 93 cases and 17 deaths. COVID-19 remains a top 10 cause of death in this country and has claimed the lives of more than 1.1 million Americans. I will strongly encourage you to get your shots and boosters. A new COVID booster should be available. I also encourage you to wear your mask inside, especially if you are at risk or live with someone who is. We're having a little bit of a resurgence. The virus is still circulating, and with that, flu shots are now available. Please do not hesitate to call my office at 808-586-6130 with any questions or concerns, or email me at senroads@capital.hawaii.gov.
Thank you very much. Let me emphasize the fact that right now,
Thank you.
flu shots and booster COVIDs are available. But what you got to do is you have to make an appointment for the COVID shot. It takes some time to get that appointment. And there's another one besides the flu and the COVID. It's called RSV. Is that right? Are you familiar with that? 65 and over, you should take that shot too. Okay. So it's a lot of shots. My recommendation, don't take all three at one time. It hurts. Again, if you're 65 over, take the shots. Okay. Anything else? Okay, any questions from the board? Yes, Henry.
Last, I think last month, you guys had a representative from DOT, and a question I asked her was, which intersections allowed multi-directional red light cameras? And her statement was just go online and find it and whatnot. I tried
Mhm.
looking, I was not successful in finding it. Can you
Mhm.
give me one, maybe a drawing or a map of which camera directions are being faced?
Definitely. I definitely can. Next month I can bring in a picture, and I can also um give you exactly, I can name them off next month.
So what you can do, once you get that information and you email it to me and I'll disseminate it to the board. Easier that way, okay?
I
And
can do
everybody
that.
will get it. Okay, thanks. Any other
Sounds good.
questions? Board? Audience? Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Senator Rhodes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next, Senator Kim.
Aloha, good evening.
Hi.
I did send out my newsletter, and I want to thank Spencer Johnson for adding the report to your neighborhood board Google Drive. So if you have any, if you would, excuse me, if any member would like me to send them directly, the newsletter, they can email my office and send us their email address. Just to highlight the question that was just asked about the red light cameras, in my most recent newsletter, I did put a whole list of where all the cameras are, the red light cameras are, basically Vineyard Boulevard and Palama Street, Vineyard Boulevard and Liliha Street, Vineyard Boulevard, Nu'uanu Avenue, Holly Highway and Vineyard Boulevard, Holly Highway and School Street, Lickilicky Highway and School Street. And then outside of the district is Ward Avenue and King Street, Kapiolani Boulevard and Kamakea Street, Veritania Street and Picoy Street, McCully Street and Algoroba Street. So
Senator,
those,
can you send that information to me and I'll disseminate it from your information?
yes.
Thank
And
you
if
very
you
much.
are in Senate District 14, you should have got it in your newsletter, but we'll go ahead and.
In the newsletter? You guys read it?
Yeah, my newsletter. And I think we put it in our report maybe a couple months ago during the session, but I'll send it out again. Okay, going on to my report. Basically, Governor Green released a CIP for Maluhia. Excuse me, and the amount is $24,000 to upgrade the fire doors. And let me just make a statement that when the legislature appropriates money as part of the overall budget, it's still up to the governor to release those funds. And so just because it's in the budget doesn't necessarily mean the project is going to get done. And so what happens is the engineers, the architects, the BNF, budget and finance all have to go through the process to get the design and everything before governor will actually release the monies. When he releases the monies, and I think it's similar on the city as well, when the mayor releases the money, then the projects get done. Feral chickens, I want to thank Council Member Tyler Dos Santos Tam. We've been working on this. We did have a feral chicken working group meeting on August 17th, and the next meeting will be held next month. And so we want the state to work with the city and enhance the program that they already have going on with Sandwich Isles Pet Solutions and any other solutions that we can arrive upon where the city and state can work together with the private landowners to get the feral chickens off their property. Community Wildfire Protection Plan. I know the neighborhood board talked about this. And if the community wants to have a wildfire protection plan, Michael Walker of DLNR's Division of Forestry reports that his office is available to assist a community representative or a neighborhood board to complete the 10-page Community Wildfire Defense Grant application form. And the program offers funding to assist communities to prevent, plan for, and mitigate the wildfire risk. And the deadline to submit this is October 21st at 12 noon. So I do have his contact information on my report to you. If you have any more questions, you can also call my office. The EPA approved the Navy Joint Task Force Red Hill Defueling Preparedness Report, and the Navy has targeted October 16th to begin the gravity defueling. You can get more information on the EPA's website. Again, that website is on my report. And tomorrow at 12:30, I will be attending a meeting with the Navy commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. They've arranged for a small group of us legislators, including myself and others, to get a preview and an update of the October 16th defueling that's coming on. And that's my report. If anyone have questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Senator. So actually, in a nutshell, the Red Hill issue is on track and I saw it's approved. And when do they expect to complete the project, out of curiosity?
I don't have an exact date. I'm sure tomorrow we'll ask that question to get it. Yeah, they always kind of don't give us an exact date. So hopefully nothing will go wrong and everything will proceed as planned. And so, yeah, I'll be able to get that information to you once I find out.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for your efforts too. Said before, I'm military, but at the same time, I believe water is very important to our residents. I have under 10.5, no right turn on School Street. Are we finished with that or have we resolved that, Carol?
No.
No rights? Go ahead, Carol.
Every day I go there and there's at least 8 or 9 cars coming through Lihua and Fernandez, coming through and coming out, and there's no light there. So they're turning right with no light. And it's, why would you have a no left turn onto the street if you thought that people weren't taking that shortcut? So last time the Department of Transportation said, well, we've had 3 accidents in the last 4 years. And I'm like, well, what about the corner of Kapalama and Hala? There's been like 12 accidents in the last 4 years and they won't do anything there. So how come at this corner, they are so definite about doing something? It's really bad. The other day I sat for 6 minutes, 3 light changes to get through that light because there is no right turn on red.
Let me say, just as how the DOT came to your neighborhood board last month, we've asked them to come to the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board. And trust me, I believe that issue is going to be on the agenda or going to be asked as well. They keep saying it's safety issues. And yeah, so I don't know what to say.
I'll keep that on the agenda.
Yes,
Carol.
I'll keep asking.
Yeah, I know. I was there on that 3 light change too. I didn't believe you, but yeah, I waited 3 lights before I was able to cross Leaky to get to the next side. All right. Any other questions from the board? How about the audience?
I got,
Yes.
you were on the wrong lane. You went on the extreme right lane and you got stuck. If you went into the middle lane, you have just gone. And Carol, you telling me that there was 9 accidents in how many years? On Kapalama and Hala?
4.
What was that? What was that?
4 years. It's probably more, but that's what.
Yeah, I mean, I live there and you can have in 3 months, you can have 4 accidents easy. You know, so the question I've been pushing is, hey, something has to be done with Kapalama and Hala. I asked the city for a 4-way. They told me no. But yet you can get Bernice Street, which is relatively low travel, but they have a 4-way. Ampuni on the top, they got a 4-way. My question is, why can't I get a 4-way on Hala and Kapalama? Because the accidents, okay, when the police make the investigation, we know that there's a lot of speeding coming downhill, and that's where the accidents always happen. So the question I'm asking is that your data, as far as I'm concerned, is not correct.
What is it you want to do something about? Put on the agenda? What is it? I'm sorry, I missed your point.
No, the point is that when board member says within so many years you got only 4 accidents, that's misleading.
Okay.
You know, you gotta
Right.
be exact because I live
No,
there.
4
and
was,
I know-
4 was what Department of Transportation.
All right,
so
all right, all
at-
right. Okay,
That's.
let's not have a debate about how many accidents. There are accidents.
I have a question.
Did you want them to investigate the intersection of Kapalama and what was the other one?
I asked the city to see if they can put a four-way stop sign.
Always stop. I'm
Yes.
sorry, where? Where? I'm sorry.
Kapalama and Hala Drive.
Kapalama and Hala. Four-way stop?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Right
know
up
where, I
there,
know where
so
you're
we
talking
got
about.
two-way stop.
All right, I got it. Ed,
Okay.
you got that down? All right, he's got it. I'll put it on the agenda. I know what you're talking about.
Hey, Donna, I have a question. You know, on that, red light, are you guys looking at making that, so-called, moving violation by just a ticket? Because I go to the Y mostly every day, and I see about 4 cars going through the red light. I mean, going through the red light, not definite red light. And the question I also have is, with all that citation, how much or what is the percentage that the city collected so far?
Wait, I'm sorry. We have Senator, you're asking Senator Kim?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Senator Kim, did you hear the question?
Yes, I have. The city doesn't get any of the traffic fines. I think we talked about this in the past.
Fine. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, if not, Senator Kim, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep, we'll see you. Next on the agenda is Representative Takinouchi. Yeah?
Hi, Chair. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Good
Hi.
to see you guys. Hello. Okay. Some quick follow-ups from the last couple of months. So I still have Leo Kalani Botanical Garden encampment on the list. Sorry, still no update, but I actually kind of escalated this up. I have a meeting scheduled with Department of Facility Maintenance and Department of Transportation and CORE, the city's homelessness response team, to kind of talk about the situation there, because I know I know it's been on the agenda and we wait, 6 months, a year, whatever, to get a sweep, and then they just come back. So I'm hoping that this meeting will maybe yield some changes that we can make about the area, about the situation. I'm as frustrated as you all are that it's been on the agenda for so long. So hoping to get some good things from that meeting. Also, I'm keeping the rose ring parakeets and chicken issue on my list as well. Again, I know we're just waiting for 2024 to see if we can get more funding, especially for the invasive species council, to kind of look at rose ring parakeets. I know, yep, a lot of good things happening with chicken situation. Thank you, city and county, for doing the subsidized program. Appreciate that very much. I know a lot of neighbors are happy about that. But for the parakeets, or the green parrots, looking to see what kind of funding we can get to support that in 2024. Couple of new things. Oh, sorry. So October is actually Stop the Ant Month in Hawaii, and this is another invasive species that I hope we can all kind of take a look at. This is an effort by DLNR and a bunch of other agencies to look at trying to control the spread of little fire ants on Oahu. And so DLNR is offering free ant collection kits. You can just request them free. They send it to you. You can just like put in your backyard, collect some ant samples for them, and either mail it or send it back to them so that they can identify the kind of ants that is in everybody's neighborhood. This kind of helps them see if little fire ants are becoming more prevalent and established on Oahu. And that's really what we're trying to like stop from happening, because if they can identify, sites where little fire ants are identified, then they can go out and kind of try and do eradication at the time. Actually, a little far from you guys, but kind of close to home, I know Papakolea actually has like an active kind of site going, and Paoa Valley actually had some things recently within the last like 3 years that I believe is under control now. But it's just a good reminder that this is a free thing. Like, there's nothing, all you have to do is like take the test, the kit. I believe it's like some kind of like sticky substance. Then put in your backyard, collect the sample, and mail it to these agencies to kind of just identify things. This would really help them kind of just like um, identify things and stop the spread. I'll put the links to how to get a kit, how to get a kit and everything in the chat right after we're done. Also, Liliha Public Library shared some events with us. The next one that's coming up is actually like a fun kids event for upcycling and candy basket making. This is for kids 5 and up. It's going to be tomorrow actually. Oh, shucks. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 10th, 10 to 11. They're going to take some normal trash items and teach the kids how to like make little baskets out of them. Hopefully they can also use them for Halloween. It's going to be tomorrow at the library from 10 to 11. I'll put the link in the chat. And I know the library also has a lot of events. So if you want to just check out the link for things they have ongoing through October, that'd be great. Any questions about anything or anything I can help take back for follow-up?
Any questions? Thank you very much, Representative. Any questions from the board? From the audience? WebEx? Thank you very much, Representative. I
Okay,
hope we
good
can
seeing
get
everybody.
Liliha all cleaned up. It's been some time.
I know. I'm hoping the meeting's gonna be helpful. I
Yeah.
know we've had this on the agenda for years
Yeah,
now.
before your tenure is up, okay?
Yes.
Thanks. All right, moving right along. Let's see. Ooh, Representative Mizuno, anybody from his office? Representative Holt, anybody from his office? How about governor's representative? Do we have him here? Oliveras, Oniveras? Dallas? Okay, anybody from the first congressional district representative Ed Case's office? Okay, moving right along. We have no presentations. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of September 11th, 2023. Moved by Brandon. Is there a second? Don't everybody shout out at once. Oh, second. Thank you very much, Don. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes of September 11th, 2023, just raise your right hand. Okay, thank you. Any opposed? No opposition. Motion's carried. Under unfinished business, 10-1, we took care of eradication of parrots and feral chickens. 10-2, we had an update by Senator Kim. 10.3, Liliha Gardens, we had an update by Representative Taninucci. 10.5, no right turns, and a report by Senator Kim. I'm keeping that on the agenda. Crosswalk in 10.8 on Coquia Street. I'll keep that on the agenda. So under 10.4, 10.6, and 10.7, I'm going to ask the representative from DPP to give us an update. Thank you very much for coming, Gerald.
Thanks, Chair. Jiro Sumata, Deputy Director at Department of Planning and Permitting. For the 1162 Hala Drive, met with Corporation Council, kind of plan a strategy. We are scheduling interviews with 3 witnesses soon. Derek Wong, Carol Up, and Wes Wong. So you should be getting a call to schedule and these are kind of like like the test case to gather the information in the proper way. So we're going to have the Corporation Council do the interviews and kind of teach us how to carry out the subsequent interviews so we collect the right information the right way. So that's coming up. Follow up on the monster homes, 2037 Liliha. Maybe I didn't give a clarifying report last time, so I'm going to struggle through this one more time. Okay, 2037 Liliha. There's 2 permits, one for a 3-story home, one for Ohana. Both permits were revoked. Okay. The first permit for a 3-story house they filed an appeal, the Building Board of Appeals. Because they filed an appeal, the permit is still active. So they are allowed to do work at their own risk. In other words, if they do something and if the Board of Appeals rules in our favor, then they probably probably end up undoing the work that they did. Okay, so we'll have to reinspect at that time. But their permit is still active, but it is being appealed. The revocation action is being appealed. The other permit, the one for the Ohana, that also got revoked, and there's no work that is allowed. That revocation was not appealed. So,
Wait, before you go any further, in regards to the 3-story, it's on appeal, but they can continue to work on it at their peril.
yes.
If the review, the board, okay, this is all administrative, of course, say, no, we think that it was proper. Their next step to go to the circuit court to appeal that administrative decision. Does that mean they can keep on continuing? And if they do, and eventually get to circuit court and there's a trial and they lose, my question, will the city require or force them to tear it down?
Chair. What I've been told is we have very little to no history in forcing people to tear down houses.
That's why I'm concerned. Why didn't the corp council go in for an injunction or stay for?
So what the remedy, and that needs to be discussed and worked out with the Board of Appeals. And if they go to a higher court, then we'll work that out with that entity. But in order to fix the house, to bring it into compliance, that will probably be what is negotiated. And they have to redesign that demolition or reconstruction or whatever work that needs to be done to bring it into compliance with the law.
The only reason I mention this, having worked with the city, is I don't want the city to be held up. You know what I mean? In other words, oh, we already built it. You're gonna make us tear it down?
Well, I think I'm not an attorney, but what I've been told is that the pursuit of actually making somebody tear down their house can also be viewed as a taking. Then we end up paying for that. But we need to correct them in the administrative manner that we have available to us, which is they're going through that process, Building Board of Appeals. And if we prevail, then they need to redesign and reconstruct, deconstruct, or make it legal.
And if they don't
at their
do that,
expense.
yeah, but if they don't, is there a remedy for a fine per day?
Another part, yes, if they dilly-dally around and delay, we impose fines until they take corrective action.
And the corporation council will enforce those fines, right?
And we can also lien their property. So however that proceeds.
Okay,
down
I
that
just
path.
want to make sure the city, don't let them hold you hostage, is what they call it.
Okay,
All
Thank
right,
you,
you
Chair,
can,
for that
you can tell them West Phone from
I will.
Corp Council Trials Division said
We may
that.
have to call a retiree back or something.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you're successful. Next,
Now, the 1532 Hanai Loop. In actuality, there's two properties on Hanai Loop that relate to Monster Homes. And I think there was some confusion about that last time. Okay, 1532 Hanai Loop. What is there is a foundation and some form work. That's all. They were issued a stop work order and a notice of violation, and they are heeding that stop work order. In other words, they are not done work on that property. We have pictures that I can share with the board, both in May and in September. They took pictures from the same angle, and the pictures, they're very similar. So they are heeding the stop work order, so they're not doing any work. That's 1532 Nai Loop. They went on May 22nd, and they went on September 20th. And there is a notice of order, so fines are tracked. Okay. 1604 Hanai Loop. Okay. That is a different property. That property has also been, permit was revoked and a stop work order issued. And they are heeding that stop work order. That property, the building is almost completed. The framing is up, the roof is up, and they have exterior siding. And that is where I think Mr. Nita was concerned about too. So that property sounds like what he was describing last month. So anyway, but they are heeding that stop work order. There is a notice of order issued, and we're tracking fines on that. So that's 1532 and 1604. And then the last one was you already reported on the 1211 Aleva Drive, the sewer leaks. They fixed it. So that's my report here.
I want to thank you very much. Very informative and very complete. Good luck.
Thank you. And maybe we'll call you for advice, Chair, on other legal pursuits.
You know, I am retired, you know.
Well, you can still serve.
And
good
being
service.
Chinese, I don't do any pro bono. No, you got a capable. Anyway, don't go away. We have some questions. Like Don, go ahead, Don.
No, you, Brendan said you are supposed to tell us about Judge Street? Oh, okay, all right, thank you.
Questions from the board? Any? Okay, I'll leave them all four. And I got four now on the agenda. So nothing's really finished yet until the appeal's over, really amounts to, right? And then the
Well,
last
there-
one,
that could
the
go on for-
1604 Hanai Loop, the building permit's been revoked. There's a stop work order. Then what? They're not appealing that, are they?
Which one?
The last one.
That one. I don't know if they're appealing that one or
You
not.
can let us know, but I'll keep it at the agenda.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah, go ahead, Henry.
Question is, if somebody finishes a house, what are the process to begin occupying it? I mean,
They need to close that, the final building inspection.
so
Are
what
you
is that
talking about the
step?
ones that are illegal? Or
Oh, just
anybody's house?
anybody's house.
Yeah, you just need to close your permit.
And what is that?
The final
Correct.
inspection that your inspector inspects the work, and then he certifies it meets the approved plans,
And at that point in time,
then you can occupy.
do they document
Yes,
that process? I mean,
yes.
now technology allows us to do a three-dimensional video of every room, every.
Oh, we're not that advanced yet. We just confirmed that the inspections were made and that it complies with the approved plans. We document it within our permit tracking system. And that information is also transferred to the real property tax office. So they will record the improvements that were done on your property and tax you accordingly.
So there's no like fire inspection, occupancy permit kind of thing.
For commercial permits, we have a certificate of occupancy that are issued. But for residential permits, it's just closing the building permit.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Board, audience? WebEx? Thank you very much. We'll see you next month.
Okay, yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Jiro.
Thank
Appreciate you,
Gerald.
buddy.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
You're doing a great job.
Amazing.
Thank you. Okay, I think that covers all unfinished business. Under new business, no, we don't. Paint curb, Mamala, we took care of it. State fire emergency plan, I believe, mentioned by Senator Kim. We did sewer leak, play equipment at Napoil Park on 11.4 and 11.5. We had a report about food line closing. Last under new business, and I want to thank him for his patience. I know he enjoys these meetings because he's my neighbor. Vern, would you like to tell us about our Liliha Palama?
Wait.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for the so-called Judge Street answers.
Was given.
Huh?
Given by the Ed.
Yeah, he walked out. I mean,
You gave a report earlier this month, tonight.
not on Judge Street.
Yes, Judge Street.
What was that?
They're looking into it.
That's
seeing
the
if they
one
can
he
do it.
said that they're still looking at it.
Yeah, they're still looking. I'll keep it on the agenda.
And
Yeah.
then yet they have authorization for 2 point something million. dollars.
We understand, Don.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh, are we playing Mickey Mouse over here? I mean,
Well,
come on.
you-
I mean,
you-
I asked a question
Yes.
and I should have got the answer tonight. Not, oh, well, later. Come on.
Well, Ed already answered that question, Judge Street, and he's left already, so
Well, as far
I'll
as
keep
I'm
it on the
concerned,
agenda. Thank you.
what's that?
Okay, Vern?
I don't own any land, so I had to wait. I don't own the land on the food land, so don't film me. I'm joking. So far the parade is on. Has the board had any negative comments about the parade? Anybody saying they don't want the parade in their neighborhood? I've checked with about 3 or 4 businesses. I will report to the city parade guy that I came to the board last meeting. The minutes are approved tonight. We had no negative comments. And if he could please issue us a permit. So I'm here again to see if there's any comments, negative or positive. I've gotten positive comments from the churches in the area. I've contacted all of them. The congregation seemed to be happy. So I thank you, board, for your endorsement, number one, last month. And please participate in our parade. Next meeting, I'm sorry, I have I won't be in town, but I'll let Brandon know that someone from the board has to come to the safety meeting. That's going to be on November 16th at the United Church of Christ on Judge Street at 6 o'clock. We are normally upstairs in the one of the classrooms. So 6 o'clock at night. This is the safety meeting. Safety meeting. I didn't realize we always had a safety meeting, but it is now a requirement for any parade that the city approves that you have a safety meeting to make sure all your participants are safe, which makes sense. I don't disagree with that. I think it's a good idea because you guys are marching. Every participant group, I want you folks to know a representative. How many plans? Yes, 11:24. Staging is at 4:30 at the United Church of Christ on Judge. Can you come to the safety meeting? On the 16th? That's a Thursday before. It's the week before. Okay. Well, if you don't mind, then right, or okay. Right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Thank you. Okay, yeah. My 5 minutes are up, so I better get it. Any other? I'm very conscious of you folks' time. Your folks' time is very important. Thank you.
So Vern, right now, it's on the 4th of November at 4:30. We
24th of November.
meet at the Church of Christ,
United Church of Christ.
United Church of Christ.
But there's no parking there, so you guys got to arrange for.
Yeah,
there's not enough parking there.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, we'll figure that one out.
Yeah.
And then the meeting for the safety is on October
No, November 16th, the week before.
we
The Thursday before, at 6 o'clock
we've been there.
at the United Church of Christ. They allow us to use a classroom.
And we'll have either Brandon or actually Or do you remember? Darren, yeah, 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 okay. It,
Yep, yep.
yeah, congrats. Any questions from, oh, wait, I forgot. Is the chair of neighborhood board 14, is he gonna get his own?
No, no. We don't have enough cars from the Corvette
I
Club.
didn't even finish my question.
I knew what you were gonna ask.
All right. Yeah, I was just trying to represent the board. I thought we had some importance.
It'll be a.
I'm not as pretty as all the queens,
Look
but.
at that board chair. He's so energetic.
All
He
right,
can
all
walk
right,
with
all right.
His team.
And I do encourage all of us, all the boards to participate. We walk, for those of you who don't know, all from United Church of Christ all the way down to Ferguson's, near that area right there.
Yeah, right.
The
No,
Palama Market, that area. Yeah. So nice. It's all downhill. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
well,
Any
again,
questions?
I don't have the permit yet, so hopefully. he'll
Oh,
get it.
no,
But
you-
We have insurance, we have everything else, but we need. the-
You'll get it. You get it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll call.
First, any questions? Any questions of Vern? If not, Vern, thank you for sticking around. Thank you. Great, thank you. Yes, he's got. Great, thank you. And by the way, this is Vern, probably Vern's last parade, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, and it's not his last one. It's not his last one. Okay, got it. All right, thank you very much, Vern. All right, community organization, anybody from Malahia? St. Francis? No. Lanakila?
Okay, so we have a show and sell coming up on October 18th. That's next week, Wednesday. Everybody come, 8 to 10. That's how they raise funds, but you can get really good food and crafts and all sorts of stuff. So please come to Lanakila Senior Center and bring lots of money and spend it.
Can you repeat the date again?
October 18th, 8 to 10. 8 to 10. Yep, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I mean, 10 a.m. Sorry. Okay, let's make that clear. 8 a.m. till 10 a.m., October 18th. Okay. Other news, Catholic Charities, their contract with the city and their GIA with the state were approved, which is half of their budget. So they got their funding from the city and the state for this year. They're just finished up working on a raised garden beautification project, and there was a lot of community support that gave donations of the water sprinklers and the raised gardens. And so they want to thank everybody that was involved, that gave their all the different things needing to make these raised gardens for the senior center. For those who don't know, Lanakila Senior Center now has pickleball. I know it's a big thing out there. And I was talking with Susie Chan Oakland, the director, and she says they now have 1,000 new members since 2020. So they're really doing well. A lot of people are realizing the value of coming to Lanakila and all that they have to offer. They've done things like, they go everywhere. They have all kinds of classes. They have technology classes. They have music classes, ukulele, guitar, singing. They have sewing. They have just about everything you could want in, they offer. And they've been doing a lot of things in the neighborhood. One of the things they did was their back parking lot is a basketball court, and they put in the hoops and all the backboards. So now the neighborhood can play basketball when their cars aren't parked there, when the center's closed. So that was another thing that they've done. And they also go on all kinds of trips around the island to different places. I keep hearing about them and going, why am I not going? So yeah, any questions?
Oh, I think it's a great organization. I still remember, I always say when I was on the Catholic Charities Board, that was my favorite project or organization that we sponsored. So
Oh,
Keep up the good work.
they have a lot of good things coming up because we're going into the holiday season. So
Yeah.
the list of things coming up are, wait a minute, let's see. Halloween, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So call, get involved, come on down.
Great, thank you.
So Senator Shanokan did give us a call about the really tall grass that was in front of Lanakila Multipurpose Senior Center as individuals are crossing over from Lanakila District Park. And so we were able to have the departments cut that for them.
Thank you. Any questions? No, thank you very much. I believe any other Friends of Liliha Library.
There's no update yet on the opening, but there are events that still happen there. But I think that they're just concerned with bigger gatherings still. So, but the moment they do, I have asked Senator Chanoka and she has no read on it either. So the moment they're going to have it, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay, well, let us know. We'd love to come down. Grand opening. Other nonprofit organizations? None? Any announcements by any of the board members? Okay, last thing again, congratulations to our newest board member. Big hand for Darren Cantrell. Welcome aboard. And there's no other business. Our next meeting will be on Monday, November the 13th, 2023. And I was just reminded that December, I believe we have off, don't we? Yeah, so that would be our last meeting for the year. So if you got anything to bring up for the new year, let me know. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Brandon. Is there a second? Seconded by Donald. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Seeing there's none. The time is now 8:08, and the meeting is adjourned.